Heyo, my Planet Coaster friends! Johnny5 Alive here, and welcome back to the Coaster Contest. We're kicking things off with the first of 4 amazing creations with Picnic Panic, created by Crazy Harper, an unranked and now builder, brand new member to this community. And here they say, "What's up, everyone? This is my first ever blueprint submission. It's called Picnic Panic, and I actually designed and built it on a Steam Deck." Wow, that's super impressive. As someone who's been a fan and watched the channel for years, getting to contribute is amazing. Oh, that's so great to hear. Imagine yourself a nimble squirrel darting through a vibrant sun-dappled woodland. On Picnic Panic, you will be whisked away on a thrilling roller coaster journey, running and jumping under and over hedges as you try to make off with some delicious treats. Will you outsmart the picnickers and secure your hoard? Find out this summer if you're quick enough to pull off the ultimate Picnic Panic. After your adrenaline pumping ride, take a leisurely stroll through the serene woodland walk. Immerse yourself in the beauty of nature, spotting the local wildlife, enjoying the peaceful atmosphere. It's a perfect way to unwind after an excitement of Picnic Panic. Oh my god, this sounds adorable and so much fun. Let's get into it. Holy frickin' Toledos! Ladies and gentlemen, this is incredible. Wow. I'm super impressed here. Is this a... It is. Look at that. Oh my heavens. Let's see if there's any nighttime lighting on this. I'm super impressed that this was built on a Steam Deck. I'm impressed by this if you built this with a mouse and keyboard on a PC. Doing this with a Steam Deck, you have to use the controller, right? I don't think you can plug a mouse into a Steam Deck, can you? Maybe. Another option, by the way, if you have an old crappy computer, you can always use NVIDIA GeForce Now. And, basically, you rent access to a high-end PC, and it's pretty good. Chant tried it out, and it worked great. Anyways, this is super impressive. The amount of artistry gone into this, and triggers, like the hedges opening up, it's phenomenal. For someone who's never played the game before, and brand new, and doing it on a Steam Deck, my goodness. My freaking goodness. Definitely could use a little bit more nighttime lighting, but the daytime adventure was really great. And I also love the fact that you used our Planko Friends system for your fuzzy little critters, your squirrels. They are adorable. This is really good. I love it. I'm so happy that, you know, someone like this Crazy Harpy, been watching the show for years, finally has picked up a Steam Deck and is able to jump in and play, came out with something as fantastic as this. You should be really proud of yourself, because I think it's phenomenal. There's a lot of personality in this, a lot of creativity. It's adorable, it's charming. I love your Planko friend, by the way. It's really good. Super endearing. The forest is well organized too. It has this Alice in Wonderland charming vibe to it. It's not just a bunch of trees placed around sporadically. It has a lot of care and thought put into it. Everything is meticulously placed. Little ladybugs, fun little creatures everywhere. And this is the woodland walk that you spoke about in your introduction. It's great. I would say, like, these little bees and stuff, you could use a little mover. Just have them swiveling or rotating or bobbing up and down. That would be a nice little touch. However, it's hard enough to stick things to movers in this game, yet alone doing it on a Steam Deck, right? You did have some like triggers, you moved the hedges and stuff, so I was pretty impressed by that alone. It's got a charming feel to it. It's kind of noisy too. A cute little entrance as well. I like it. I really, really, really like this. I think it's a solid first-time creation. Absolutely. Other than, you know, adding a little bit of motion to it, I don't really have any feedback for you, and I think you're doing fantastic. It had an adorable backstory, and it delivered on all fronts. So great job on this one, Crazy Harpy. I'm glad you are able to finally play. Welcome to the community. We're glad to have you, and I think you did an amazing job for your first ever coaster contest entry. Well done, well done. Hope to see you in some future challenges as well, so definitely partake in those. Okay, that's a great way to kick off the episode. Absolutely. Let's go check out the next one of the day. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, is Golum's Drought, created by Wilderbeast247, unranked and now builder, and also a brand new member to this community. And here they say, the story sets in the underwater village where golems and dwarfs used to reside. After some small troublesome golems found themselves in a abandoned forge, they set off an intense flame that breaks the magical protection sphere around them. The eternal flame comes once every 1,000 years, coincidentally in the summer. Now facing the danger of the eternal flame, they choose you to enchant and spread portals of water and make use of the old dwarven pipes to not burn up in this heat. Not to worry, I'm sure they have some floaties for protection. I'm very, very new, so please don't have high expectations. I love the honesty. That is freaking great. Let's go. All right, definitely a newbie build here today, but that's okay. We all got to start somewhere, right? I think you had a really fun backstory, right? You described things about the dwarves and the forge and that sort of thing, but we don't really see that here. And I think if you would have at least attempted to find an art style, whether, you know, you're using the Viking pieces or certain of the packs to try to accomplish like a dwarven fortress, and then once you build something there, you can start to layer that into the environment, and it's much easier to build a coaster that navigates through your scenery than it is to build the coaster around the scenery, or like build the scenery around your coaster, if you will, right? So if you can come up with like a nice big fortress thing and a forge and an underground area and start building out these concepts that you described in your description, from there you're gonna have like interesting ways that you want to navigate the coaster through. Like maybe there's molten lava conveyor belts or something, and the you tip the track completely upside down and hang us vertically going through it all so we can see it all, you know, and you'll find creative ways to use the coaster elements going through your build, right? Whereas this is kind of just pandering around without any rhyme or reason, and that is because we're missing those elements. So I think finding where you want to explore your coaster starts with what you wanted to build in your vision. I really like the backstory, and I think you attempted some of those aspects, you would have come together with a much better coaster design as a result. But it's a strong effort. It's a first-time submission. You know, you're trying, so welcome to the community, Wildebeest. I look forward to seeing what you do next. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our third creation of the day goes to a legend, the MetaHive, created by Macay. And here they say, put on your yellow jacket and prepare for an epic flight through nature's grandest architecture. Swoop through sharp turns, dive into golden tunnels, and feel the sting of your adrenaline as you weave through intricate honeycombs, walls of the MetaHive. Let's freaking go. Macay is known for doing crazy architecture and has won many contests in the past with such architecture. So I'm really looking forward to this. Let's see what's going on here. Wow, freaking way! That is sensational. I gotta say, this is a perfect example of my advice for our last creator, Wildebeest. Let's take a look at this because, you know, like I said, Macay really likes to do this fancy architecture, and this is phenomenal. It's so shapely. The way you got these rounded honeycomb, well, I mean, it's like, what are they, hexagons, octagons, hexagons? The way they all kind of curve together. See that? Like a perfect circular archway that blooms out and opens up into another one. It's phenomenal. It's kind of like weird to look at. I think there's something called tryptophobia or something where is that what it is? Where people don't like holes? It gives you a little bit of that. It's interesting to look at. It's strange. It kind of makes your skin crawl a little bit. Anyways, to my previous point, look at this is what Macay made, right? They wanted to do something interesting. There's a good chance that they made this before even starting the coaster, right? And they came up with this interesting design and they said, okay, now it's time to make my coaster. It's much easier to navigate your coaster around a creation like, okay, we're gonna come out here and hug around this spherical shape, up and over, through and around. Let's just randomly go into there, hug on the inside of this one, come up and through here, throw right through this tunnelway, and now you get to kind of navigate and explore where that coaster is gonna go throughout this nice shapely design and try to get a little bit of everything. And so to that point, if we had like a dwarven fortress or we just built something big, grand, and elaborate, we can then decide where we want to run that coaster after. And there's like a million different ways you could have taken this, right? And it's just about having fun and choosing one and sticking to it. I definitely think it was a good coaster layout and fun way to explore this. In fact, I would have said you could have even doubled the duration and double backed a few times, because I felt like see these rooms from different angles. Like if we came back through this way or up and through here, you know, I think there's multiple ways you could have tackled this where I would not have been mad if you doubled the track length. It left me wanting a little bit more because it was so interesting to look at. Now, all that being said, you probably ran out of pieces because this is just an insane amount of basic shapes to make this all happen. Yeah, you ran out of pieces. And that's Macay for you. They will push it to the limit with just an insane amount of architecture and hit that 8K limit. But what I was going to suggest, and you know, it's not really a great suggestion because you are limited to your part count, taking a note of what our little creator here, Crazy Harpy, did. That storytelling, that element of personality, the characters, I felt would have gone a long way with this one as well. I would have loved to see some of those bee creatures. You know, you talked about you know, I mean, it's a honeycomb, right? I would have loved to see some bees kind of fluttering around. Maybe even if you just turned this into a fat little bumblebee or something, that could have been enough, right? But you ran out of part count. I just think this is such an interesting area that it just having a few of the little bit of personality, some hornets, I guess, yeah, some hornets flying around could have been cool, but that's all right. Wow, you also used a single rail coaster. Look at this. That's a fun thing I just noticed. Look at that. This is Macay for you. They've done this time and time again. They often have done this with buildings they make. They will use coaster track to design interesting curvy shapes because you can't really make curves as nicely with regular pieces. So they use coaster tracks to do that. But the way that looks, it almost looks like benches. It looks like seating everywhere you go. You could sit anywhere you wanted on these. But look at the way you line the paths with that to create like a very nice, organic, curvy design. That's another just over-the-top, legendary thing that you don't see done every day. So, I mean, Macay is just an absolute legend for a reason, you know? So definitely a top contender for your bracket, doing something interesting here. And I know if we gave them another 8,000 pieces, they would have just kept on taking this to the next level. But what you did here is more legendary and awe-inspiring as well. Oh, I love the little pools for like the honey bits there. Wow. No, it looks amazing. It's a huge flex. I absolutely love it. I love seeing Macay's builds, always doing something fancy and always evolving, and using those coasters as a integration into your art design is super, super fun. I think more people should take a stab at that because it definitely allows you to do some different things that you don't normally see every day. And that is exactly what this creation is doing here today. That is amazing. Macay. Wow. All right. That brings us to our last creation of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Rivers and Rapids by Silent Moose, an advanced builder. And here they say, get your paddles and air up your rafts. It's time for some whitewater river rafting. Adventure through the rocky ravines, fantastic forests, and wonderful waterfalls. Afterwards, take a swim in the spring water pool at the lodge. Your one-stop shop for paddles and other gifts. Okay, that sounds like a lot of fun. This is a really cool concept. Wow. Let's see if there's any nighttime on this run. I kind of like didn't know what to expect with this, right? It's kind of a fun surprise. We are whitewater river rapiding, but we're also just on a coaster. And the navigation's really quite fun. Anyways, the music's kind of loud, so I'll let you guys enjoy it one more time at night, and then we'll talk about it a bit more after. Very, very cool. Ooh, look at the lodge. Gosh darn it, I just realized my mic was muted. Oh no, I said so many good things about this. Oh no. Oh, I looked over and my mic was muted. How do I summarize what I said without, okay, wow, this is super impressive. I had a lot of fun with this. I think what you did here with all of the water effects and the hybridization between, you know, off-roading and going through the water, simulating that experience is something really fun and unique. We saw something similar from Master Engineer earlier on in the contest with that off-road bike coaster, and I would, if in the future, if you had the terrain to work with, I would really love to see a purely river rapids coaster where you kind of hide the track and we're just going down it and simulating it like a water simulation. I think that would be really, really cool. But the way you did it here with a blueprint format, because you don't have the terrain to work with, you know, you used all of these rotating panels, glass panels mixed in with water and pools, and that combination created a very unique environment without the use of terrain tools, without the use of actual, you know, putting the water in. You can't do that here. So I find it to be all super, super impressive that you were able to tackle this and accomplish it in such a way that you did, because doing it in blueprint format is actually extremely ambitious, because most water scenes are best done with terrain tools, and you do not have that for this contest. So I'm really, really impressed, and I like this concept of river rafting on a coaster, and I think it could be, there's something left to be desired and explored with this idea in the future in terms of like a park file using that terrain. And I really, really like what you went for here, and the coaster turned out to be pretty exhilarating overall. And the atmosphere as well. I love the River's End Lodge and the back end of the environment. It all turned out actually pretty darn spectacular, and I'm actually really, really impressed with what you did here, Silent Moose. A fantastic, unique concept. And a fantastic, unique episode. We had fun, crazy critters built on a Steam Deck, giving us little Alice in Wonderland vibes over there. Crazy, legendary architecture from our Macay over here, and a brand new builder taking a stab at Planet Coaster for their first time. A fun variety overall. What did you guys think of today's coasters? Fire away down in the comments below. And I want to give an additional shout out to our Patreons. Thank you guys for keeping the dream alive by supporting through Patreon, and thank you all for everybody for watching the videos, leaving a like, leaving a comment. All of that helps as well. And that's going to do it for today's episode. We will see you guys in the next one. Bye now.